Has your health been covered up? Today, it's Revealing Wholeness with Dr. Troy-Munson, presented to you by Infinity Whole Health.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy-Munson on Revealing Wholeness. Today, we get to talk about skin. So some obvious signs that your health may be not so good or saying, hey, I don't have any of that stuff. Maybe my health is better than I think. The skin is an important organ. As the largest organ, we kind of look at it as a possibility of what may be happening in the body. And there's signs and symptoms that you can at least judge for yourself whether or not you're doing well. I do want to point out that our skin is 1/200th the square area of our gut. So most people, they look at the skin and think, this is the way that we get infection and stuff, and this is how we interpret our environment, is the interaction of our environment on our skin. While that is true to a point, we have much more activity or much more interaction with our environment, actually with our gut, than we do with our skin. And so why do babies crawl around and put everything in their mouth? They're actually experiencing their environment on the 200 times capability of their gut compared to their skin. And so whatever's happening on the skin, though, is often happening within the body, and especially in the gut. So the first thing is, let's talk about rough skin. I'll touch the upper arm of a lot of my clients, and some of them, 3-4 years old, 7 years old, 12 years old, and they have this rough skin. And the first thing I know about it is that rough skin is probably telling me that they have some parasites that are overgrowing in their gut. It also could be within their body as well, and it also can be gluten intolerance. So the first thing we do is say, hey, we want to slow down on the bread, pasta, crackers, chips, things like that, but we also want to start maybe doing some parasite work on that child or that adult to try and start helping that skin become healthy and vibrant again, because that's part of the gut issue. One other thing, for those of you that are wondering, am I gluten intolerant, is I will shake people's hands, and if I notice that their palms are moist, I know that they have a gluten intolerance. So all I have to do is shake their hand and it tells me whether or not they have gluten sensitivities. So next is the all-important liver spots. Well, as we see liver spots on our skin, that's exactly what it is. And the liver takes some time to heal. When we really work diligently with a liver that's not functioning well, it jumps or leaps about every 5 to 6 weeks as we start working on the liver. And the liver, if I have a really tough liver case, it might take 12 different sessions in order to get that liver really functioning well. And so those sessions, like I say, can last 5 to 6 weeks. So as we really concertedly work on liver, we're going to see little incremental jumps in health about every 5 to 6 weeks with somebody. When we support the liver, we now support the kidney function. And so a lot of people will have swelling and edema. That's also a kidney issue, but it's also a liver problem. I've had some pregnant ladies that have had swelling all over their body, especially on their ankles, and I'll give them some very simple nutritional supplements, and they'll literally in 3 or 4 or 5 days lose 20 pounds of water because it just sheds off the system immediately. And so we'll guard or collect or hoard water when we're looking for water-soluble vitamins, especially like B vitamins, are culprits for swelling. So those are things that are each individual are distinct to them. So rather than telling you a blanket fix all, it's a bit different for each person, but yet definitely most of the swelling is kidney, liver, as well as B vitamin issues. Next is cherry hemangiomas. Now that's a big word or a big phrase, but what I want you to understand is if you look at your skin, especially your stomach, you may find little red dots on your skin. If you see some, count them. Count them on your upper leg, on your chest, on your back. Have somebody look at your back and count them. Let's say you have 30. Well, those cherry hemangiomas are a blood vessel that's gotten close to the skin and now popped to the surface, and it's swollen. And that's from overeating grains, carbs, sugar. And so if you say, okay, I'm going to reduce sugar and carbs and really cut them out for a good 30 days and then recount all of them on your body, you'll be shocked at how many fewer you have. And so it's kind of an idea now that you can say, hey, I've gotten rid of most of the cherry hemangiomas on my body. Now let me start upping the sugar back into my diet and see when they start popping out. I did this very thing on myself and I realized, hey, I couldn't tolerate the 20 grams of carbs per meal like I tell most people, but I'm 5'6" and I weigh 130 pounds. I'm smaller than most people, so it would make sense that I probably can't handle as many grams of carbs per meal. So I find myself being much better around 13, 14 grams per meal, and I do okay. So you can find your own way there. Next is dry skin. Dry skin is common. Dry skin, cells not being able to hold on to water, is a calcium issue typically. Can be also good fats, which go hand in hand because good fats carry calcium to tissues. Just like our bones keep our body where it should be and upright and do things, and our arms as an arm, not just a blob of flesh, every cell has a scaffolding inside that is calcium. And so that scaffolding inside maintains the cell shape, and that calcium becomes very important. If, let's say we have an immune attack and our body pushes calcium out of tissues to try and help the immune system work, which is the number one helper for the immune system is calcium, we could collapse those cells, and that's why we might get a dry cough when it comes to having a cold. If you find yourself consistently having a dry cough, that's almost always a calcium issue. So that's dryness of tissues. So those are kind of a few hints that can be big in the human body, and just looking at your skin, those are some things to begin that process of knowing whether you're exhibiting health or maybe exhibiting now some chronic deficiencies or even some kidney and liver issues. So I hope that's helpful in kind of being able to look at your skin as a window to your body and how things are doing. In the next couple of podcasts, we're going to get into other things like the nails, what they tell us, what our tongue tells us, because we can all look in the mirror and look at our tongue and decide how our body is actually performing in other ways. So we're going to kind of explore other ways to determine whether you're doing well or whether you might need a little bit of work and have some deficiencies. So until next time, I'm Dr. Troy Munson on Revealing Wholeness.